Parenting is tough, and being a kid isn't any easier. Sometimes, even with the best intentions, our reactions to our children's mistakes or emotions can create walls instead of bridges. But what happens when those walls are built on fear, not trust? When children fear their parents, the effects go deep. It's not just a single moment of anxiety. It's about how that fear shapes their confidence, self-esteem, and emotional growth over time. Let's look at how fear, instead of trust, can impact a child's life through real-life scenarios, psychological consequences, and the long-term effects on relationships and personal growth. Imagine 8-year-old Mia. She spills juice on the carpet. Her parent storms in, yelling and grounding her. Mia's heart races. She wishes she could disappear. Next time she makes a mistake, she hides it, or even lies, because she's terrified of the reaction. Over time, Mia's confidence erodes. She starts to believe that mistakes make her unlovable. Kids don't hide things because they're bad. They do it because they're scared. This fear teaches them to avoid risks, cover up errors, and doubt their abilities. Their self-esteem takes a hit, and they start to believe that perfection is the only way to be accepted. Take 10-year-old Alex. He proudly shows his parent a drawing. Instead of encouragement, he hears, "Why didn't you color inside the lines?" Or, "You can do better." Over time, Alex stops sharing his art. He starts to believe he's never good enough, and his self-worth becomes tied to impossible standards. When criticism outweighs support, kids withdraw. They stop trying new things, fearing more disappointment. Their confidence shrinks, and they may develop anxiety about making mistakes, not just at home but in school and with friends. Now picture 12-year-old Sam, who comes home after a tough day at school, trying to talk about being bullied. The parent, distracted or uncomfortable, brushes it off with, "You'll be fine, don't be so sensitive." Sam feels invisible. He learns to keep his feelings to himself, believing that his emotions don't matter. When kids feel their emotions are dismissed, they bottle things up. This can lead to emotional numbness, trouble expressing feelings, and difficulty forming healthy relationships later in life. The message is clear: vulnerability is unsafe. Maybe your teen says, "I'm really stressed about this test," and you reply, "You're overreacting, it's just a test." To you it might seem small, but to them, it's huge. When their feelings are dismissed, kids learn not to share what's on their mind, turning instead to friends, the internet, or no one at all. Over time, this pattern damages the parent-child relationship. Kids may become secretive, distant, or rebellious. The home, which should be a safe haven, becomes a place of anxiety and isolation. The psychological consequences of growing up in fear are serious. Children may develop chronic anxiety, depression, or low self-worth. They might struggle with decision-making, always second-guessing themselves, or become perfectionists, terrified of making mistakes. In school, these kids may avoid participating, fearing embarrassment or criticism. They might not try out for teams, clubs, or new experiences, worried they'll fail and face harsh judgment at home. Socially, children who fear their parents may struggle to form close friendships. They might have trouble trusting others, or they may seek approval from peers in unhealthy ways, desperate for the validation they don't receive at home. The long-term impact can last into adulthood. Adults who grew up fearing their parents often report difficulty setting boundaries, low self-confidence, and challenges in relationships. They may repeat the cycle with their own children, unsure how to break free from the patterns they learned. In the workplace, these adults may struggle to advocate for themselves, fearing authority figures or criticism. Their personal growth is stunted by the belief that mistakes are unacceptable and that their worth is conditional. But it doesn't have to be this way. The cycle of fear can be broken. It starts with small, intentional changes in how we respond to our children. Instead of reacting with anger or criticism, try listening first. When your child admits a mistake, take a breath. Say, "Thank you for telling me. Let's figure this out together." This builds trust and shows your child that honesty is safe. Replace criticism with encouragement. Notice the effort, not just the outcome. "I see how hard you worked on that drawing. Tell me about it." This helps your child develop confidence and pride in their efforts. Offer emotional support, even when you don't have all the answers. "I'm sorry you had a rough day. Want to talk about it or just hang out together?" This teaches your child that their feelings matter and that they're not alone. And when your child shares their feelings, validate them. "I get why you're stressed. Tests can be tough. How can I help?" This fosters emotional intelligence and resilience. When kids feel safe to share, they open up more. They learn that mistakes are part of growing, not something to be feared or hidden. Their confidence and self-esteem flourish, and they develop the emotional tools needed for healthy relationships and personal growth. It's not about being a cool parent. It's about showing your child that mistakes don't erase your love. This unconditional support is the foundation for lifelong trust and emotional well-being. Every honest talk heals a little fear and builds a lot of trust. Over time, the wall of fear crumbles, replaced by a bridge of understanding and connection. If you recognize any of these habits in your own parenting, don't panic. Start small, listen more, criticize less, support, don't dismiss. With every step, you're helping your child grow into a confident, emotionally healthy adult, one who trusts, not fears, the people they love most. Trust isn't built in a day, but every day is a new chance to build it.